the same thing as they did last time. They're just charging straight in towards the enemy. They have no fear.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are here to talk about the next match between Feign Disorder and Phoebe Freeport Republic. Let's have a look at their paths here. Let's see. Feign Disorder beat Requiem Eternal, who we saw a little bit earlier, and then they lost to Volta, one of the top teams in this tournament. No shame to lose to them. PFR, on the other hand, lost to 404 Alliance Not Found, and then beat Quebec United Legion. So, based purely off the teams they beat, I would give Feign Disorder the edge in this matchup. What do you think, Jin?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to give the edge to Feign Disorder here. PFR have had huge internal problems in the past, and they lost a lot of the good pilots that really took them far last time. So I'm expecting Feign Disorder to be able to take this one home.
What about Riley? Do you have any hope for PFR?
I have absolute hope for PFR. Those are the guys that actually made Navpox work, Foxcats as they're usually known for in TQ. So I'm going to go with PFR on this one. Yeah, go PFR.
Yeah, I mean, Lenny Kravitz is recently opening Freeports all across LoSec, so perhaps with that assistance in their Freeport campaign, they will be able to come back to relevance and power once again. Looking at the comps they brought in their last match, Feign Disorder brought this Balgorn APOC Navy combo that we're seeing now in this day of the weekend with double Harb Navies for some more laser damage, supported by 2 Deacons, a Purifier, and 2 Cruor going into that Frigate Logi. On the other side, on the PFR side, we have the more standard double TFI, EOS and EOS, double Svipple, Confessor, Blackbird, double Griffin. So an ECM form of the TFI core we're seeing. We're seeing actually a lot today, that normal TFI core augmented on the low end with T3Ds, but then ECM as well. Ryland, why do you think people are using ECM in the TFI core? Do you think it's just a case of ECM is good, or does ECM work especially well in the TFI core team?
I hate to say it, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot, because if they bring ECM, they are bringing less tackle, and TFIs excel if they have if they've got support tackle, so T3Ds. Because I think this TFI core is supposed to be a tank and gank type of setup. So I'm thinking that ECM is not a good run, in my opinion.
Well, let's see what happens as we go straight to the match between Phoebe Freeport Republic and Feign Disorder.
Hi there, I'm Sutona. I'm joined by Rain Chocolate. We have Phoebe Freeport Republic versus Feign Disorder. So PFR bought 2 Bargus, Simi, Navy Drake, 2 Jackdaw, 2 Seapool, 2 Hound.
Feign Disorder brought double Sleipnir, Simi, double Broadsword, double Sweeple, Kitsune, and double Hound.
So we see PFR banning Guardian and Neros. They have a huge missile team with bombers. I guess they want to get rid of those low sig armor setups. And Feign Disorder decided to ban Blackbird and Griffin. The ECM hate is real.
Although, even though the ECM hate is real, they did bring their own Kitsune. So I think they felt they wanted just to eliminate the possibility of ECM on the other team while bringing a solid ECM comp.
Yeah, it seems like the Kitsune might be quite powerful here too with the 2 Bargus, especially if it gets a jam while they have a rapid heavy reloads. So seeing jam attempts on the 2 Jackdaws and the Bargus, so I guess they have Kaldari jammers with them. Seeing the scrams onto the broadsword, we're seeing damage on a Sleipnir actually of Altian.
Yeah, and so immediately a DPS, and the Simi was actually able to lock him and is starting to rep him. He's holding pretty well around half shield, and they're, for some reason, Feign Disorder is actually going for the Sweeple right away.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of brawled in out of position, but then he burned back towards his Logis, catching reps now. The Sleipnir is taking damage. It looks like he is being forced to use his extra large ancillary shield booster right now. If they can get through that Sleipnir, this could be really big for PFR.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty good decision on primaries as well. These Sleipnirs will probably have a lot of DPS compared to some of these other ships on the field. Broadswords, sure, they have the Hexgram, but they can't really do much else.
Yeah, we have seen the first Hexgram now applied to Scarper in a Hound. He's got a TP on him too. See if the bombers start taking damage. Oh shit! Altian's Sleipnir goes down.
Yeah, that was pretty quick. And then they are also their secondary is actually this Kitsune. They obviously don't like ECM either. And I'm not quite sure the Kitsune's actually not really jamming anyone, although it looks like Phoebe Freeport, though they don't have any ECM ships, they do actually have ECM mods on their ships because they're actually doing ECM attempts against Feign.
Scarpa's Hound dropping low now, not getting any shield reps on the logistic right now. Oh, there they go, there they go. Oh, we see the Kisuni go down now for the Feign Disorder side. It's really interesting to see that they primaried the Sleipnir, because we saw another team primary a Sleipnir just not be able to break it. But it seems like PFR just confident, just know that they can kill that Sleipnir even through scimitar reps and take it down. Seeing the other Sleipnir now, Vandary taking huge damage now. He probably will drop pretty soon.
These sweeples on the Feign Disorder side are actually doing some work on these hounds. They're not able to hold in. The first hound's already dead with the second one. Oh, when low structure with the shield barely holding on.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of like nude pressure on the broadswords here, because I haven't seen many Hexgrams. We saw a Hexgram briefly on a hound and it dropped off. Now we've just seen a Hexgram now on a Barghest. We just haven't seen those Hexgrams. I guess they're just the nudes. I'm not sure where they're coming from. I guess from the Barghest have just been controlling them well. Just the two hounds from Feign Disorder go down though.
Yeah, all bombers completely wiped out the field, so now they gotta really rely on these. I want to say battlecruisers, battleships for DPS, but Feign Disorder actually lost their second Sleipnir. So now it's focusing on these broadswords. I don't know if they can recover from this.
Yeah, we have a broadsword of Robento Jax. He's at 0 meters per second right now. He's not even webbed. He's just Nightmare Xing it, you know. He's gonna take full damage from these Barghests. Not gonna be able to mitigate anything.
Yeah, he also does have ECM drones on him. I guess that's where this ECM icon is coming from, and he's instantly destroyed. The Simi wasn't able to save him at all.
Yeah, I think Feign Disorder's chances of winning this match are pretty slim now. They've lost both their link ships, they've lost one of their broadswords, just a broadsword scimitar and 2 sweeples left.
Yeah, there's no way. You think even if they execute everything perfectly, there's no way they can have the DPS available to kill both these Barghest, even if Phoebe Freeport did not have their Simi. I'm really curious. I guess, what do you think of Phoebe actually priming those Sleipnirs? You think that was what caused them to win this?
Yeah, I mean, they've obviously probably tested this many times. There's plenty of compositions like this with the Sleipnirs and the scimitars. I guess they just knew that they could just burn down the Sleipnirs. We have seen a few other teams just primary Sleipnirs off the bat with the scimitar and just not be able to break it. These Galanti Rush teams just failing at doing it. But it seems like these Barghests backed up with bombers can do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think there was anything Feign Disorder could have done to actually win and actually save their Sleipnirs? Because like you said, the Simi was applying reps. He was using his local rep. Like, what more could they have done?
I think they just got controlled. I'm not sure what happened. I didn't see any Hexgrams from the broadswords on the PFR side for a long time. I think they just got neutered out somehow. Maybe they don't have an injector. Hexgrams actually take a lot of cap. I think a Hick can't even run MWDM point without some kind of capacitor module. Yeah,
and the second broadsword's now down, so only this Simi remaining, which will die very, very quickly. He also has a swarm of ECM bots on him.
Yeah, I mean, the Scimitar's not going to win this for them. There's no attack bar left. He has no form of damage. So, looks like Phoebe Freeport Republic proving that they can wreck other alliances more than their own.
So now we get to sit and talk about, I honestly don't know, the Simi's, actually he's using his local rep. So he's not giving up hope, even though he's like completely controlled at this point. No way for him to escape.
Well, I mean, the rest of the team could boundary violate, I guess.
I wouldn't rely on that tactic, but I mean, if he could somehow attempt to run away and then not slingshot, but convince the enemy team to just burn at him like some Sweeple pilots do.
Yeah, I think the PFR side are leaving the Scimitar alive for some reason, and they're just posting stuff in local now. They're kind of just having some good-mannered words with the Feign Disorder sides.
Yeah, Feign Disorder is also saying that most of his fleet was jammed, so it looks like those ECM bots paid off. And with that, we'll send it back to the guys in the studio.
In Eve, the only thing worth more than Isk is trust. In Amsterdam, Eve is real.
Guys, welcome back after PFR taking that victory over Feign Disorder. We saw those Sleipnirs die so quickly. We think of Sleipnirs as incredibly tanky ships. When you auto-cannon fit them, you get the XLASB, and then that with the semi behind it is incredibly powerful. When you RT fit them, you need tracking computers in your mids. You don't have the XLASB, so they are far, far weaker. So great primaries there from PFR. Jintam, what do you think about using broadswords in an RT team?
I think broadswords are a really, really strong ship, but they're not designed to be good for RT fitting. You just can't fit a big enough tank and enough utility and artillery and a warp disruptor to that fit. You have to make so many sacrifices that it's not worth bringing a broadsword over, let's say, a Hurricane fleet issue in that composition. I think with a bit more alpha, they would have done much better, much better.
Well, do you think they needed to change their comp up there, or do you think with some different decision-making they could have actually won that match?
I would say I'd rather much change the way the comp is run. You just swap out the broadswords and run Orthruses instead, and and Orthruses are cheaper, so you could just have an extra couple points, just upgrade some support. They did have an interesting support wing, so. I think they should have just swapped out the broadswords for the Orthruses.
I think the best bit of decision-making they could have made was to bring a good composition and not what they brought.
I mean, they could have all in the Logi and maybe got a Logi trade out of it and then just like gone from there, to be honest.
Well, I am currently looking at the brackets to find out who they're facing next, as to whether that's been decided. It looks like they will be facing Solar Fleet from our last match, so that could be an interesting matchup. PFR versus Solar. They used to live, in fact, quite close to each other on the Solve map, so maybe they have some experience with each other. Next, however, I'm very excited because we are moving on to the winners bracket. Most exciting part of the day. We've got some fantastic teams here. The first match we're going to be looking at is Pandemic Legion versus Spectre Fleet Alliance. Very highly anticipated match. I know who I'm betting on for that one, but I may be biased. But we will bring you that match after this short break.
You just made me drop my fucking biscuit in my tea. I hate